I will do just sometime prior to the 9th is we'll send a letter to all these countries. There's 200 countries. You can't talk to all of them, no matter how many people you have. You can't talk to all of them. We'll send a letter and we'll say we would consider it a great honor, and this is what you'll have to do to shop in the United States. We're like a department store to shop in the United States, and you'll pay a 25% tariff, and we wish you a lot of luck. And that's the end of the trade deal, because we have something that nobody has.
Alright guys, as some of you may know, I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan. I've been searching all over Netflix to watch Dragon Ball episodes, but unfortunately Netflix here just doesn't have them. But you know which version of Netflix does? Netflix Japan. Some of you might be wondering, how on earth am I accessing Netflix Japan, right? Well, that's where NordVPN comes in. NordVPN is one of the top VPN services out there. It allows you to mask your location and browse securely, which is perfect for protecting your privacy. Plus, NordVPN can basically change your location to anywhere in the world with just a few clicks. So it's just as easy as that. That's how I'm able to access Netflix Japan and binge all of the Dragon Ball episodes that I can fathom. It's not just about watching international shows, however. NordVPN adds an extra layer of security basically as you're browsing, so your personal information stays safe and your online activity remains private. If you want to unlock more content and protect your privacy online, head over to nordvpn.com/Harariboy to get over 70% off a 2-year subscription plus 3 months free. And if you don't like it, you can cancel within 30 days and get a money back guarantee. It is worth the peace of mind and extra content you'll have access to. Thank you. Hello guys, welcome to this edition of the Harariboy Podcast. Thanks for joining. We have a few topics to talk about this week. I know there's a lot going on, and probably in the next coming episodes we'll definitely address more of it. But yeah, today I just want to focus on 3 main topics here. There was a lot of buzz about the firing of the BLS head and things like that. So we're going to take a look at that and see the new job numbers and the actual job numbers, things like that. And then we'll also take a look at the big beautiful bill that just got signed, how that's going to affect your pockets today as a consumer. And we're going to just discuss when the impact of that is projected to happen. And then finally, we'll have a discussion about one of the latest interviews, another Maria Bartiromo interview with the president. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff there. Let's go ahead and take a look here. All right, so as I mentioned, the first topic we're going to discuss is the BLS job numbers. So what is this? What is it all entailing? So apparently the BLS sends out surveys and has other means and methods of gathering the information about the job reports, things like that, right? So a lot of people, a lot of companies are not answering those surveys, so it's the job numbers are kind of all over the place. But because of that, they end up doing these corrections. Now, how significant are these corrections? Definitely is not supposed to be as significant as it's been this year, let's just say. Yeah, they made a huge cut, or a huge, there was a huge difference in job numbers, and that raised a lot of suspicion. So I'm sure that's why Trump went ahead and made some changes there. So now with the new BLS head coming in, apparently there was some release of the actual job numbers, and this was actually recorded right before Trump appointed the new BLS, but it was actually a pretty good, interesting watch here. So he'll show a few graphs and things of that nature of what's actually going on, and let's take a look here and let's go ahead and react.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. We're going to have just a quick session with Steve Moore. Everybody knows Steve Moore with the Heritage Foundation, highly respected, one of the most highly respected economists and people that watch your money and know more about your money and your life than probably anybody I can think of. and I want to thank Steve for being here. I saw this today. They came out. What he puts out gets a lot of coverage, and I saw some of them, and then he had a couple of others. And I'd like to ask Steve maybe to discuss a few of these numbers that were just released. I mean, literally just released. And then we're going over, and we're going to do Purple Heart. We have some incredible, brave people that I look forward to, so we're going to do that right after this. Steve, could you say a few words about the various charts?
Thank you, Mr. President. So I called the President because I had some very good news from some new data that we've been able to put together that no one has ever seen before, and I'll just very quickly go through these. So I was telling the President that he did the right thing in calling for a new head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, because this shows that over the last 2 years of the Biden administration, the BLS overestimated job creation by 1.5 million jobs. That's a, Mr. President, that's a gigantic error. And I don't know if she's, I'm not
It might
making
not have been an error, that's the bad part. If it was an error, it would be one thing. I don't think it's an error. I think they did it purposely.
whether that, you may well be right, but even if it wasn't purposefully, it's incompetence.
Right.
Okay, so 1.5 million jobs overestimated. We have access to the some data that no one else does on what has happened month by month with median household income. This is based on unpublished Census Bureau data. It will be released sometime in the next 6 months, but we get an advanced look at it. And so I was telling the President, in his first 5 months in office, starting in January through the end of June, the average median household income adjusted for inflation for the average family in America is already up $1,174. That's
an incredible number.
Yeah.
Just came out.
Just came out. So that's a giant gain.
And if I would have said this, nobody would have believed me. There's your number. We're doing well.
So the next one compares, we finally have the 2024 data on what happened with real family income in the United States. And so what I did was I compared the record in Donald Trump's first term with the Joe Biden first term. And you can see that, by the way, these dotted lines here, Mr. President, that's COVID. So if it had not been for COVID, these numbers would have been substantially better. But even taking account President Trump's last year in 2020, we saw a $6,400 real after inflation gain in income for the average family. And that compares with Joe Biden, which was a measly $551. So, Mr. President, you gain 10 times more income for the average family than Joe Biden is because of your policies.
And that's taken into consideration COVID,
Yep.
which a lot of times you don't have to do that.
Because
but
we were
I'm very glad you did.
We were over
No, we were
almost
at
8,000 until
Look
COVID.
at that number.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then we looked at which families did the best. And we have data from the Census Bureau that shows by income percentage. So the 25th percentile is the lowest income, 75th percentile is the highest income. And what I find fascinating about this, Mr. President, is every income group did better. The red is President Trump, the blue is President Biden. Every single income group did better under President Trump. But what's really amazing is look what happened under Biden. The lowest income group lost income under Biden. They were poor 4 years after Biden's presidency. No gain virtually whatsoever for the middle class. And the rich was the only group that did better under Biden, which is ironic because Biden keeps saying he was trying to get rid of income inequality. He made income inequality worse, not better. It was President Trump that reduced income inequality.
These numbers just came out, by the way.
Yep. And then finally, these are the numbers just I just showed you in percentage terms. Mr. President, these are the numbers in dollar terms. So even the lowest income, 25th percent, gained about $4,000 in income. That's a lot for a lower income family. $6,400 for the middle class and almost $10,000 for the richest. So you can see every income group did better under Trump than Biden by a wide margin. That's the story.
I think when you look at them, they're all something, but this one chart really says it better than anything. If you look at this is great, but this chart is pretty amazing right here.
Yeah, so you've pretty much seen that, right? Those charts, what they were indicating was essentially, the real actual job numbers. At the end of the day, what it just looks like, in summary, is that we are still clawing out of a deep hole that we were in, mainly due to COVID and things of that nature. So, yeah, I would say give it a year or two, and you're really going to see, hopefully, the impacts, good job number impacts here in the coming future. Right now, what we're looking at in terms of sectors, construction industry is definitely on the up and up right now. That's the market that's really gaining, gaining a lot of employment, and things of that nature. But overall, it is a blue collar economy, I should say, for lack of a better term. Because the white collar people are still, new college grads especially, are still struggling even with the new AI stuff that's being rolled out and all that. People are still trying to get familiar with this new job market. But like I said, give it some time. The job market is still trying to figure itself out, basically, what it's going to be, things of that nature. I mean, you heard a whole bunch of manufacturing jobs going to come here in the next couple of years. So, a lot of good stuff. I see a lot of upside, and I don't only see that, investors also see that. Stock market is definitely climbing as well. So, yeah, it's definitely something to keep an eye on, and let's see where what the future holds, let's say. But yeah, looks pretty bright right now. All right, so that brings us to the next topic of discussion here, and that is big beautiful bill that just got signed. What impact will that have on you? Really, out the gate, I'm going to say nothing. Well, I will say you will not feel the impacts pretty much immediately. It will definitely take some time for it to hit, probably around next year time. But there's some good stuff in there. Dave Ramsey and his co-host George Camel really break it down very thoroughly, and I definitely want to watch that and break it down for you guys here. So let's take a look.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today. The big, beautiful bill. I thought that was a nickname. They actually named the law that, which is trippy, to say the least.
Beautiful? It's just such a strange adjective for a piece of paper.
I think it's pretty cool. I mean, it's kind of fun. But so everybody's wanting to know, okay, is the world going to come to an end because of it, or is the world honestly going to get better? Well, as usual with Washington, there's some things that are good and there's some things that are not good. And you can just kind of go with that. I don't
think there's any bill that universally will help anyone and everyone.
Well, because that's not the government's job, by the way. It's your job to help you. Quit waiting on the White House to fix your house, in other words. So, but anyway, everybody's wanting to know all this. So we thought we'd spend a segment on it anyway. I'm not going to spend the rest of my life on it, but I probably will, because a lot of stuff's going to come up over the rest of my life. But anyway, first thing is the 2017 tax cuts were made permanent. They were scheduled to run out. And that's huge, because the main thing that happened is 90 some odd % of Americans take the standard deduction, do not itemize. And the 2017 raised the standard deduction super high, and so it keeps you from having to pay federal income tax for a whole bunch of you at all, just because you get this huge standard deduction.
That's some real savings for most people.
And they increased it another $1,500 in 2025, not for 24, but for 25, which when you file next year, you'll see that. And it's going to continue to increase adjusted for inflation. So that's a nice thing there. So it makes the income tax filings be fairly easy for most people. And, but you're not writing off interest. You're not writing off charitable deductions, with the exception of what I'm going to come to in a few minutes, that kind of stuff. So no tax. He kept his, a politician kept a campaign promise. Note this. It's fairly unusual. Doesn't happen much. So no taxes on tips and overtime. He dreamed that up and everybody went bonkers, and they actually did it. Now, it's got limitations to it. The bill adds a tax deduction of up to $25,000 for income from tips. So you don't pay taxes on that.
And that's not dollar for dollar, but it will reduce your taxable income by that much.
Exactly.
Which is helpful. That's still a few $1,000 for most people that work on tips.
Yeah, and it's only for 3 years, 25 through 28, and then it expires. The deduction phases out if you make over $150,000 a year or $300,000 for couples. Same thing for overtime. It phases out on that and is only for 3 years. And the bill adds a tax deduction of up to $12,500, $25,000 for couples for qualified overtime wages. So that's good. That's good. That's a move. Trump accounts, babies born from the start of 25 to the end of 28 would receive a $1,000 Trump account deposit. Where is that going?
It goes into it's managed by the Treasury, and there are no tax advantages like there would be with a 529 plan or a Roth IRA. So the best part is the free $1,000.
It's just $1,000.
You get $1,000, and that it'll have compound growth. I'm not sure how they're investing it. I'm not sure how much control you'll have.
Like none.
But it does have restrictions, and you have to withdraw it at a certain time and all that kind of stuff. But it can be used for
that's
college, home buying, starting a business.
It's $1,000 one time. It's useless.
Yes. So I was excited at first,
and they're handling it
because I thought this could replace Social Security.
Political BS,
but it's not enough.
Student loan overhaul. I'm not going to get into that. Don't take student loans. Okay. Auto updates. Those who buy American-made new vehicles can deduct up to $10,000 a year in interest on the auto loans. And that deduction phases out if you make more than $100K or $200 for couples. The bill ends a $7,500 tax credit for the EVs. We knew that was coming. We knew Elon was pissed. Everybody's seen that.
That one seemed vengeful.
Yeah, there's like, just drop
it's like
that
a bad
in
breakup.
There. Yeah. But I'll tell you what ended up happening was, like north of town here, there's several million square feet. General Motors was building a battery plant.
Oh, wow.
For EVs. And they shut the construction down in the middle of it
because it's really going to hurt the demand when you reduce the credit.
They took their foot off.
Took the wind out of the sails there.
Took their foot off the battery.
Oh, there we go. No gas here, Dave. Oh man.
Ba-boom.
All right.
Bill ends tax credits for rooftop solar, geothermal heat pumps, and other energy-efficient home devices at the end of 2025. If you're going to do any of that and want the federal tax credit for that, you do it by the end of this year, installed and paid. Can't just be contracted for. Has to actually be done by the end of the year. Medicaid reduction. The bill creates a tax deduction of $6,000 for seniors for 3 years, 25 to 28. The deduction decreases if you make more than $75,000 or $150,000 for couples. Currently, no proof of work is required to receive Medicaid. The bill requires by the end of 26, most adults who do not have children younger than 14 to document 80 hours of work to get Medicaid.
That's per month.
Volunteering or training.
Not a week. Don't worry, guys.
Or something. Yeah,
so that's about a part-time job right there.
Yeah.
20 hours a week.
Well, I mean, you actually have to be doing something, to get this welfare.
For able-bodied adults.
Exactly. Yeah. SALT deduction, SALT, that is, this bill raises the current cap on the state and local taxes that people in high tax states have to write off on their federal returns from to $40,000 from $10,000 that you can write off if you live in one of those income tax states. Charity deduction. Bill lets you write off up to $1,000, whoopee, of your donations, $2,000 for couples, starting in 26, even if you take the standard deduction.
All right.
That's new. But it's a whole $1,000, whoopee, no big deal. Tax credit for children, $2,000. It raises it to $2,200 and adjusts for inflation after that. So that continues as part of the 2017 bill. HSA, more people are eligible and money can be used for more expenses like gym memberships.
That's a cool one.
That's neat.
I'm a big fan of the health savings accounts.
529 can be used for more expenses like tutoring or dual enrollment fees, workforce training after high school.
This is great for the trades.
You can. Mike Rowe will love this. The trades will be kicking up. That's good. And so basically a bunch of little tiny stuff. There's no big, beautiful thing in here.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of nickel and dime stuff. I mean, the top tips, I think the big one's no taxes on tips and overtime. But if you're not going to take out a car loan and you're not going to take out a student loan.
Why not give the benefit to anyone who buys an American-made car, whether they use debt or not?
Something, yeah.
Why only let the people who took out debt benefit from this? That's an odd one.
That's help. Thank you to the banking.
That's America.
Banking lobbyists.
Here you go.
Involved there. Yeah. We'll make sure we're in debt. Spending like you're in Congress, it raises the debt ceiling by $5 trillion, which estimates are that'll probably last about the time that Trump is in office. And then they'll have the bump into the ceiling again. So
That debt ceiling, they just keep raising it. How high can this roof go? That's the question. Before it collapses.
Maybe if you were going to buy solar, or maybe if you're going to buy an EV, or maybe, and the EVs go away, I think that was September 30th. You can still do the EV thing up to September 30th.
Out,
And then, but really, there's not anything in here that's going to change your life.
I don't see any someone on a golden horse riding in to save your day here.
Mm-mm.
There's some tax cuts, so if for the people that were doing well,
the best thing that they did, the biggest thing, and it's kind of quiet on this, the way this is written up, is that they just made permanent the 2017 stuff, which is really big stuff.
Yeah.
In 2017, the thing they did do for those of you that run a small business is they brought the R&D write-off back. Thank God. If your business is under 31 million annually, you can start immediately taking your R&D tax credits back. That had been in place for like 75 years and went away 2 years ago.
Weird.
Because they didn't renew it because Congress sat on their thumbs, which they usually do. And so small businesses were getting slammed because they lost a huge depreciation issue on R&D. I know I did. If your business is more than 31 million, it's still coming back. If you're, like ours is about 300 million, so we don't qualify. And so it's still coming back, but we're going to have to wait till like 26 or 25 for it to show up. And it's a different issue. But yeah, but still, at least they got it all back in, and they put the tax law back together. That's what they did with that. So big, yeah, beautiful,
bill, sure,
it's a bill.
Yeah, so you've seen that, you heard that. So essentially what's the key takeaways here, I mean, this is some minor adjustments to existing stuff, like the 2017 tax cuts will remain, but there is a few newly added items that's pretty intriguing for the average person. So, the first one, obviously, no tax on tip and overtime. That was huge, and that was a campaign promise, like Dave Ramsey said, and Trump actually kept it, which was rare for a politician to do. And yeah, that's actually a pretty good thing. And then we have the $1,000 Trump accounts. Now, what this is, just think of it as one of those investment accounts, early childhood investment accounts that you can't touch, but you're contributing to every single year. I believe you can contribute to this one as well. There is a limit that you can't go above. But yeah, it'll just keep compounding until the child reaches, I believe, the age of 18 and is an adult. And essentially that money will be there for them to use, for like college or something like that. It's actually a good way to like curve the debt and actually make, your child financially prosperous or give them a leg up in the future. Like Dave Ramsey was saying, the $1,000 isn't much. So for those of you with kids, definitely contribute to this. Like what Dave Ramsey would always recommend is around $50 to $100, a month or something like that. That will definitely compile over the span of 18 years. People can have like hundreds of thousands of dollars in some cases just by doing that. So yeah, just I don't know how this Trump account is going to be run. Like they said, how they invest it. You have to look into that and see if you're okay with how they're investing it. If not, invest in your own mutual fund for your child. That will be a lot better. S&P 500 is definitely in the past, it has been shown to be a good starter account and has, tracked the market pretty well. But yeah, you'll just have to do more research on that. But it is $1,000 that you're not going to touch. And it's better than nothing is what I should say. So, and then the last one, obviously, here is the write-off on interest for American-made vehicles. I mean, obviously, this is to encourage, American car sales, which is a great thing in my opinion. However, for the end user, it's actually good. I mean, like I'm with Dave Ramsey here. Like, you shouldn't be getting into debt for a car loan. If you do get into debt, or if you're already in debt for a car loan, make sure to pay it off as soon as possible. Never let the banks win and allow them to eat all the interest from you, throughout the full term. But yeah, so anyways, if they are charging you interest, you are able to write that off now. So that is good. Obviously, like he spelled out there are some limitations, but overall, it's so some pretty good stuff in there, and definitely will help you get a leg up, hopefully, in society a little bit more. But yeah, hopefully this will lead to more of a prosperous economy, like what is being predicted. But we'll see. Time will tell. Now, for this last topic, I do want to take a look here at this interview Trump did with Maria Bartiromo. He talks about the economy and state of things and things like that, and what he has planned for the future. So it'll hopefully give you guys a lot of ease of mind and see kind of where the bigger picture of where everything's about to go. So without further ado, let's take a look.
Look, if some judge said we can't do tariffs, we would fall prey to the rest of the world who would do tariffs and are doing tariffs on us. If we couldn't fight them back with tariffs, this country would be in terrible shape. We would be like this innocent lamb being led to slaughter. Some countries, we don't care. We'll just send an I number out. But we're going to be sending letters out starting pretty soon. No, we don't have to meet. We understand. We have all the numbers. Listen, what we're going to do is we're going to send, and we're going to say, congratulations, we're allowing you to shop in the United States of America, but we're doing a rare earth deal, but we're also doing, remember, we have all of the airplane parts. They can't fly their airplanes without us. So we had, some guards also, but it should have never gotten that way because we should have been doing they call it magnets. It's a rare earth, but they call it magnets, a specific type. And they're making those magnets for us right now, and things are well. And we have a deal with China, and Lee Zeldin is doing an amazing job, the environmental commissioner. I said, Lee, you got to approve this stuff fast. Make sure it's safe, make sure it's good, but you have to get it done fast. Because in China, you know how long it takes? One day. It's called President Xi, boom. And you know what I did? I had an idea. I said, when you build your plant, you're spending billions. You're going to become a utility, an electric utility. You're going to also build a utility. You're not going to take it from an old grid that's been here for 100 years. You're going to take it right from a new facility. And they actually looked at me, they said, you do that? Of course I would. It's a national emergency. I'm going to approve everything, and you'll have your approval in 2 weeks. And frankly, we should be there too, because without the United States, the whole world doesn't work.
And you teased a couple of names. You said you have a couple of people in mind as a successor to Jay Powell.
They'll all be good, yeah.
But I want to get your take on China, really, because you've announced an agreement with the Chinese Communist Party, where China will export the rare earth minerals.
Yeah.
What does that mean in terms of this upcoming tariff structure? You've got a pause in terms of the more steep tariffs that ends August 12th. Are you going to extend that? Are you going to keep that in place or go back to a higher tariff on China?
Opening this year, coal. You know why? It's very powerful. It's very powerful. So we opened up coal. We were closing all our coal mines all over the country, and yet we still have a lot of coal. We use the generating plants of coal because it's the strongest. And we're doing coal. So we have everything, every form. I don't want windmills destroying our place. I don't want, these solar things where they go for miles and they cover up a half a mountain that are ugly as hell. And by the way, the panels are all made, and the windmills, they're all made in China. But what happens with the tariffs is that if a judge ruled against us, and this is part of how you win, fairness is also a part of the law. If a judge ruled against us on tariffs, we would fall prey to other countries destroying us. We can't do that. If they do tariffs on us, we do tariffs on them. If they charge us, we charge them. Then they never charge us. The truth is we don't have enough people to take care of these jobs.
President, I just want to ask you about the job cuts from these companies. Some of them are blaming AI. And one CEO told me that AI, artificial intelligence, allows engineers to be at least 25% more productive. What can you do to offset the job cuts that will no doubt come as a result of AI efficiency?
One thing, very simple, bring more companies and more jobs. The truth is we don't have enough people to take care of these jobs. So it's like perfect timing. We don't have enough people. My biggest problem is they're coming in and they have to hire thousands and thousands of workers.
There is litigation around the legality of those tariffs. Are you going to be able to get more trade deals done before you hear from the International Court of Appeals in August?
Sure, but we won the litigation and we had the delay and we had some radical left judge and then we had it overturned. And we're doing well in all of our litigation. We're doing well on the tariff litigation. I could send one to Japan. Dear Mr. Japan, here's the story. You're going to pay a 25% tariff on your cars, So we give Japan no cars. They won't take our cars, right? And yet we take millions and millions of their cars into the United States. It's not fair. And I explain that to Japan, and they understand it. And we have a big deficit with Japan, and they understand that too. And if AI is so good, which I hear it is, and there's a lot of money being bet by very smart people, I'll tell you, we are dominating AI. That's the other thing. And they all said, well, we'd have a problem because of electricity. We don't make enough electricity. We would have to double our electric power. Can you believe that? It's a good deal, I think, hopefully for everybody. We had a deal with China where it was 145% tariffs. And I will tell you, everything stopped in China. I saw that. Everything stopped. And we did China a favor, but we're getting along well with China. I think getting along well with China is a very good thing. When I was, we had a great success in the first term. We had the greatest economy in the history of our country. By the way, it's going to be absolutely, this is better. This is going to be, I think, even much better. But we had the greatest economy in history. And we use sanctions. You use them very carefully. Sanctions cost us a lot of money. It's not just, gee, we're going to put sanctions on. When you do sanctions, it costs a lot of money. Now, I will say this, China right now needs those companies much more than they needed them 2 years ago. 2 years ago, China could do that. Today, they can't because they need those companies. They need Apple. They need all of, Apple's spending $600 billion, $700 billion in the United States building plants. They were never going to do that. Think of it, $700 billion. But a lot of the companies that are in China are now relocating back to the United States. So, yeah, China is going to treat them much better as they need them. They didn't need them under Biden because they were ripping us off left and right. They need them under Trump. Tariffs is what's bringing the companies in. We have auto companies building plants where they wouldn't have built here in 100 years. We have more investment in the United States right now than we've ever had before. Think of it. Now they're coming in.
Like you've said, you brought wealth back to America.
Wealth and spirit back. We have spirit. People respect our country again. We brought respect and dignity back. They respect America again. They laughed at us. They thought we were a joke.
All right, guys. Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. It's essentially a lot of tariffs going a lot of places. Now, the immediate impact of the tariffs, we probably, or I should say the benefits we probably won't see until like this time next year. However, it's not going, I haven't seen it affect, the average day American, utility. So for example, energy costs are still relatively the same, like fuel, gas is actually going lower. Same thing with groceries, things like that. Obviously building material is going up and fluctuating a little bit, and it's going up because of the aluminum and steel tariffs. But there is some talk about, for encouragement for the home builders and things of that nature to bring more supply into the market and, help with the house prices. Trump is, from what I'm hearing, is looking at that to remove those tariffs for those purposes. So he could leave them on for like car manufacturers and things like that, and say for construction material, we're going to take that off. So we don't know. It's still pretty early. What I do want to say is that there was some development about a judge striking them down, essentially, but it has been appealed. So, I think Trump has through September to get it resolved, but hopefully he doesn't have to pay it back, because that would be very detrimental to the economy's development. But if the Supreme Court rules in his favor, I think it'll definitely produce a great outcome for the economy overall. But yeah, that's all I had for you guys, in this episode. Anyways, I look forward to seeing you guys in the next episode. Be sure to like and subscribe, leave a comment as always, and see you guys next time. So do you have a minute to connect? let's connect. That's right, guys. I'm officially on Connect now. You guys can go ahead and book me. I will be offering financial as well as career coaching based off of the Dave Ramsey principles, of course. So yeah, feel free to contact me, connect with me on Connect, and I look forward to speaking with each and every single one of you.